So my name is Angela Morgan. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at the Better Business Bureau. And today we are privileged to have Mr. Bart Thau from Alabama Media Group. He is the Vice President of Marketing at Alabama Media Group and Red Clay. He has tons of experience with building several social brands for the company that I also had the opportunity to see come to fruition over the years. But it's a Southern thing, and this is Alabama. If you're familiar with those brands, he is the brains behind those brands, as well as he's also worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield in the past in their mass media department as well. So, Bart, we are so happy to have you, and thank you for joining.
So glad to be here.
All right, so this is not your typical talking head webinar. I like to do things a little bit differently. It is very casual, if you will. Please feel free to barge in, chime in, and ask questions. I have a person on my right that is looking out for questions as you raise your hand in the group chat. And we will try to answer questions as we go. That way, we're not talking at you the entire time. But Bart and I will tag team a lot of the content. So just bear with us. And if you have questions, again, feel free to chime in and ask those questions as we go. You don't have to wait until the end. All right. Okay. So, first of all, we're going to talk about building your business foundation. And a lot of times, working for the Better Business Bureau, I have the opportunity to see business owners in their beginning stages when they first start out. But I also have the opportunity to work with a lot of business owners that have been in the business for a long time. And these are some of the things that I've noticed just across all business owners, whether you're just starting out or if you've been in business for a long time. Because of the evolution of the world and how things changes and how people find customers, it's always important for business owners to check the pulse of their business as they go and make sure that these four things are a part of their absolute solid foundation as they go, whether you, again, just starting out or been in business for a long time. So first, you want to build a solid foundation for your business, create a brand identity, identify who your customers are and who you're going to target, and then manage your reputation. So in this webinar, we're going to talk about those, pretty much those four pillars. All right, so being found. This is where this is absolutely, if I could say, one of the most important things for a business owner, either when they're starting out or if they've been in business for a long time. I can't tell you how many times I've had business owners tell me the name of their business, and I did a simple Google search, and I was not able to find them anywhere online. If I can't find you, most of your customers can't find you either. So the first things first is you should build a business website and make sure that you have a business email address. Most companies give you an email address for your business with your website if they develop it for you. A lot of business owners, they choose to build their website themselves, and that is also a good thing if you have the ability and the bandwidth to do so. Companies like GoDaddy and Wix are good to use for those purposes. But if it were me, I would hire a web developer just because they have the information as far as what's going to get people to call you, the information that needs to be up front and center when a customer goes to your website, so you're not having customers bounce off of your website. And then you also want to make sure that you build social media pages for your business, not for your personal use, but for your business. Not sure if anybody is like me, but I'm going to go ahead and make a confession. I cannot stand social media. Facebook, Instagram, all of those platforms, it just does something to me sometimes. However, as a business owner, I have to run those pages for my business because that's how my consumers, my customers are able to find me, whether it's passively or how I connect with them in certain ways with my business. So it is absolutely very important for you to have social pages or business pages through all of the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, All of those are social platforms that connect well with SEO and are going to be important when people are trying to find you. And then, of
Yep.
course, getting listed on Google. It is free. It takes 5 minutes to set your business up on Google. This is what it looks like if a business, once you set everything up, you can attach your logo, you can have schedule an appointment, all of the things. Your website can be found there, but it's absolutely free. This is another thing that I found working with a lot of small business owners. Just like there are consumer scammers that we teach consumers about, there's also scammers that try to scam businesses as well. And what I mean by that is there are companies out there that will tell business owners, I can get you listed on Google and manage your Google My Business page for $299 a month. Unbeknownst to the business owner, that is, again, something that you can get and manage for yourself for free by just having a website for your business. I'm sorry, not even a website. All you need is an email address for your business in order to set it up. You don't have to have a website. So that's just something that you need to be made aware of, because it sounds like, these people are knowledgeable and they have tons of information and they can help you, but they are predators in my book, because they're preying on business owners that do not know the information that is available to them for free. The next thing you want to make sure you're doing is branding your business. Um, so when you're branding your business, you need to make sure that your company has an identity. And you can do that in certain ways. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you also need to organize everything about your business underneath that particular identity. And then make sure you find out who your targeting audience is. So, who you're going to market to, who that's going to be, what do they look like. And we are going to do an exercise to show you how to do that as well in just a minute. And then don't be afraid to revise it. As a business owner, it's important to know what's working and what's not working, and not be afraid to change courses when needed. I'll tell you this: when I started my business 4 years ago, um, we started off with a business plan. Of course, everybody starts off with a business plan. And our business plan, our model shifted a little bit. And I realized I needed to focus more on residential versus commercial, because of various reasons. So we had to make a shift early this year to make sure that we were reaching residential clients in order to build our customer base that way. All right, so what makes a good brand? Everybody is familiar with all of the brands that's to your right or to your left. Subway, Nike. If I name any of those, most of you can give me what their slogan is. You can identify who their business is or what their business is and what they do by just a simple logo. I know if you have kids, most of our kids learn what a McDonald's logo is and they're able to identify it from blocks away. And that's because McDonald's does a good job with branding themselves with their logo. It's a consistent logo that has been around for years and years and years. Um, a slogan, you want to make sure you have a slogan for your business. It should be short and sweet, but it also should be something that says something about your business. And then you want to make sure that you're consistent with your brand identity. So if somebody sees your website, your social pages, or whatever the case may be, you need to make sure that everything is consistent. And if someone sees your logo, whether it's on a truck or whether it's on a billboard, that they're able to identify exactly what your business is. So this particular company's logo is very identifiable. Their slogan is, we bring the repair shop to you, or we come to you. Very simple. So it's a mobile mechanic shop and they come to the client. All of their employees have uniforms, so they're easy to identify. These things are, I think, things that business owners take for granted, and they don't necessarily think they're important, but they're extremely important. So when you go to Google and look for the business, or when you go to any of the social media brands, you're able to identify exactly who this company is. And if you've done business with them in the past, even if you lose their number, you're able to recognize who it was and what they did for you.
And Angela, I'd like to say something here. I think that what businesses don't remember is that their brand isn't just what you showed. It has those what you showed are the absolute requirements, the ante for getting into the game. You must have that level of execution and you must have that consistency across all, I'll call your digital channels, but you also have to have all of that execution across your real world channels as well. What do I mean by that? You mentioned uniform. The uniform's got to be clean, it's got to be the same, it's got to be everybody that they encounter with that company having that presence that lives up to the brand. It's also got to be in your service. So we bring the repair shop to you. Don't ask me to meet you somewhere else, right? Don't ask me to do something different. If I say I come to you, you need to go to them. It needs to be consistent. And then when you show up, if you're a mechanic, make sure that you're showing up in a well maintained auto. You got really good presence while you're there. You're not messing up somebody's driveway while they're there. This business knows what they're doing. They have to live that brand promise from the digital, from the conceptual to the real life encounter and all the way through. And then the last thing I'll say, and this is sometimes where businesses forget, it's even in about how they treat you after the sale as well. Follow up is a part of your brand. If there's a problem, or let's say that this company, for instance, made a repair. The next day, the person goes out, their car didn't start. Well, it may have nothing to do with the repair that was done the day before, but the encounter that happens after the fact also reinforces and reflects on the brand back to that brand and what they think of that brand. It's all about how we handle interactions in the real world that make this kind of stuff really solidify and come to life and build a relationship that matters over time.
Absolutely. All right. So when I talked earlier about there are things that you can do yourself. Don't fall prey to companies that target business owners, again, that because you don't have a lot of time, you think that a company can manage these things for you. While that may be true, that may be 100% true. There are marketing firms out there. I've worked for marketing firms um, in a lot of my career that do a very, very good job of managing campaigns and doing things for business owners. However, there are some things that you should take ownership of. Your Google business profile page, that's one thing that you should be able to create and manage yourself. Your BBB profile on bbb.org, making sure that that's up to date. It has pictures on it. All of the things that an individual would look at in order to make a buying decision, whether it's through a gallery or whatever, that should be updated, and it should be updated and looked at often. Your social media pages. This all can be a full-time job, mind you. So I get it. As a small business owner or as a business owner, you might not have the bandwidth, but somebody in your company, in your organization should have ownership of some of these things. Your social media pages, making sure that you're posting to social media platforms and posting often. Google SEO sees that as new and unique content, and it's important to your business SEO. Reputation management, making sure that you are responding to all of the reviews that are out there. Again, that falls underneath the category of new and unique content. And managing any complaints. Um, you cannot please everybody all the time, but you cannot ignore people either when you're in business, because that can hurt your brand. That goes back to what Bart was saying. If there's an issue, there are going to be issues. Absolutely. Because again, you can't please everybody, but you need to make sure you're not ignoring them and you are responding to customers if they have a complaint and making sure the public is aware that you're responding. So a lot of
Angela,
times, yes,
I'd love to say something here. I
go
have
ahead.
seen really good brands who have social channels, and I monitor those social channels because I love their brand. One of them is a place we like to go in Cancun called Moon Palace. There are some folks who will get on there and start a tirade about something that they encountered there. And what's really funny is there are so many people that love that brand and have been there so many times that love that place, they'll pile on and they'll get to the truth. So if some, and we all know businesses are unfairly targeted because somebody doesn't want to pay their bill or somebody's trying to get something free or a concession. This all happens in social media. But I've seen fans of brands like this pile on and say, guys, ignore this. This person posts this every 2 weeks. This person, are you the guy who is trying to get a free stay or get a comp meal? It, if you have a consistency in which your service is 5 star A plus, there are going to be people who have hiccups and there are going to be folks that unfairly harass and try to get something out of you through social posting. I think the idea is not to be perfect, but as Angela says, make sure you do make a response and make sure that you're transparent. And also, if you have fans, those fans will come to your rescue. They almost consider it a privilege to support and defend the folks that they love.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is such a good feeling to be able to have a brand that's that solid in the marketplace, that you have people that you have satisfied, customers that you've done business with in the past to come to your rescue in those particular instances. Blog posts is something that I encourage all businesses to do. Again, it only helps out your SEO as it relates to Google. You also look to the public as the expert. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. Even if you're just a simple auto repair shop and you repair cars, if you tell the public these are the things that you need to look out for regular maintenance on your car. Cars are expensive these days, right? And so take care of the car that you have by making sure you look out for these particular things. You don't have to be a writer or an English professor in order to do that. There are content, you can build that content using platforms like Gemini or ChatGPT to help you build your thoughts and put your thoughts together. So that way you can formulate something that is very professional and that you can present to the public so that you are deemed as the expert in that particular area. So that's your do it yourself. There are some things that I would recommend that you just don't do yourself. Again, you can if you have the time and the bandwidth to do so. But these things are more technical and they require an eye of how to build these things out. So that way, again, you're not having people to bounce off of your website. Website is one thing. To make sure that you build a website that's appealing and that's visually attractive, because it can act as a 24-hour salesperson for your business. Even when you're closed, people have access to your website. So you want to make sure that that is visibly pleasing to the eye and to the consumers. And people that build websites, they know what to do in order to make that presentable. Listings across all internets. Again, that's something that you can do. There's thousands of different, well, hundreds, not thousands. There's hundreds of different listings across all of the internet sites. You can take your time and go set yourself up on Yahoo and Angie's List if you're a contractor, Yelp, some of the other places. But there's also software that you can purchase as well that can help you just make sure that you're listed accurately across all platforms. SEO and SEM, search engine marketing on Google, and SEO. SEO can be very time consuming. So my recommendation is that you pay someone to manage that for you. Creative marketing strategies such as, YouTube video and digital billboards. That's something, of course, that you would have to, pay somebody to do for you. And then targeted display on Google as well is also something that I recommend that you have some help with. Bart?
Thanks. One of the things that's really critical when you're talking about all these things Angela's talking about, being on social, developing content, and then if you take the added step of actually learning the ad targeting platforms within Facebook, within LinkedIn, within Twitter, X, YouTube, everything. I mean, there's just a plethora of things to learn there. The first thing you're asked to do is you're asked to pick out who is the audience that you are trying to reach. And even I'm sure when you created your business, you in your mind thought about, and maybe even this was something that you had to do for funding or you just had to do as a part of structuring your business, you had to think about who am I trying to reach? Who is my ideal customer? If any of you ever put everyone, that's just not true. Even if a product is appropriate for everyone, and very few are, or a service, you can't reach everyone. You need to have relevance as well as utility for a product or a service to really work and take off, right? So I have kind of just simplified this down for our discussion today into three big buckets, and they're pretty big. The first one is location. You really need to decide for your business. If you're a service business, can you really make it around to the entire metro area, depending on what that metro area is? If so, and you can serve everybody very well, great. But you need to define where the location is that you're going to be servicing so that you're not targeting and wasting dollars reaching people that are outside a serviceable area for you. And this is somewhat confusing in some of the ad platforms as they say, do you want to reach the metro area? Well, what does that mean? So you can really get specific with that. Also, where are your customers? Doesn't matter if you are in a certain location, you have to decide, do I have enough customers in the area that I feel like I can service to have a successful business? So answer both of those questions. Where can I service and where are my customers? And do I reach them at work or do I reach them where they shop or do I reach them where they live? The second thing that's a really big bucket is needs and wants of your customer. So who either needs what you sell and who wants what you sell. And of course, I'm getting to some things here that are a little bit different, right? Some products and services, they are fulfilling a need. My car won't start. I need to get it fixed. My AC's down. I need to get it fixed. But others are wants, luxuries. I don't have to go to the spa. I don't have to have luxury food. I don't have to have certain things, a gym membership. But wants versus needs, who are those people and what do they look like? The third big bucket, I think, is the capacity to spend. So you got to know, what is that range? What is that range of your ideal customer or several of different buckets of ideal customers? Do you want to just service somebody that can afford you once, or are you trying to get somebody that can buy from you repeatedly because your ideal customer is a repeat customer? You need to answer those questions and then fill in the blank of what is the capacity to spend of those customers and how do you identify it? Let's go to the next slide and put some flesh kind of on the bones of these things. And these are things that you're going to see in these platforms, but you want to write them down. You really want to have an understanding of this stuff so that you can, before you even get to the ad platforms, you can have figured this out. Location in the ad serving platforms, especially social and digital, are going to ask geographics by zip code, by county, maybe by metro area, which you need to define. Like, what does Meta or Facebook, Instagram mean by metro versus what is LinkedIn or X or YouTube or somebody else? You got to get into the fine print and really understand that. And then states, obviously, or US. You can get as wide as you want. But if you don't select something specifically, you could be reaching people in and wasting your ad dollars. Needs and wants. This is really consumer behavior targeting. So if you're in platform again, such as Meta or Instagram, you can target people based on what kind of assets they have, what kind of lifestyles they have. Are they following certain brands that are like you, or are they following certain brands that are the people that you service? If you're an electrical installer or a renovator who's also trying to hit people with chargers that are getting electric cars, then you might want to follow people who are following electric cars or Tesla or something else. You also want to be thinking about what assets do they own. If you're a roofer, it's best not to target zip codes with high amounts of multifamily housing, most likely, right? Unless you're going after a B2B audience. You want to target homeowners. So, where are those homeowners? Can I find those people who own homes? Is that a selection in platform? In some cases, it is, right? Also, families versus not families. If you have something that's for ideal for families, for moms, for dads, for a family unit, for kids, then you want to make sure that you're reaching families. You can target people by these types of things. Then capacity to spend. This is really demographic information. So you can target people in some ways by what types of jobs they have, by what titles they have. You can get at income, wealth, and expenses by thinking what sort of connotes or denotes or shows you, do they have enough money to afford your service? Or if your service is not relying on that and it's more about volume and need, it could be more based on consumer behavior than it is on capacity to spend. But you need to think about these things, write these things down, and then approach all of your messaging, all of your targeting, and all of your selections in platform based upon these three big buckets. And there could be more.
All right, so we are going to start off, or we're going to go with the ideal customer exercise. So basically, this is we're going to ask for a volunteer on the line, and we are going to try and help you to identify who your ideal customer is. All right, so do we have any volunteers, Louis? Everybody don't raise your hand at once. All right, no volunteers? All right, so I let the cat out of the bag that I'm a business owner. So we will do the ideal exercise based off of my business model. And if you didn't notice, At Home Auto Care is a business that I've used repeatedly, and that is because that is my business. We own a mobile mechanic shop. So, Bart, you going to help me with this one?
I will try.
All right, so we have a mobile mechanic shop. When we first started off, we were mostly interested in doing fleet contract work, meaning we were going to target customers like DHL, Amazon, FedEx, because we could bring the repair shop to them. They didn't have very much downtime with vehicles. You can go to their location when the cars were not on the road, right? Okay. Um, so that is that. One thing about commercial companies, though, that we had to find out the hard way is that they take longer time to pay their bills, right? So it was 100% upfront cost for us as a business owner, small business owner, just starting out. And so we had to basically revamp our business model earlier this year. So, with that being said, we had to figure out how we were going to get in front of the regular consumer, the person that breaks down at their office or job or just does not have time to take the kids to the auto repair shop to get their car done. Okay. So we were basically the express oil change on wheels, or that's what we wanted to be. So I had to figure out a way to get in front of that particular audience.
Perfect.
So Bart, what do you suggest that I do in this particular instance?
Well, the first thing I would ask you is how wide of a radius can you actually serve? You have, from what I know of your business already, just because you've told me, you got one guy and you got one truck.
Yep.
So if I'm doing geographic targeting first, the answer is, do I select Birmingham, which could be a metro area that extends from Coleman to Calera, Anniston to Tuscaloosa, or do I need to select a tighter area that you guys can operate in?
So in the beginning, we did not do that because we thought that we wanted everybody. And this is me being in marketing for years and years and years, right? So what I did was I opened it up because I wanted Shelby County, Jefferson County. Didn't realize that from my house to some of these cities, it was a 45-minute drive.
Right.
So we had to reel that in a little bit. And we had to
That's good.
identify certain areas that we wanted to target. But go ahead, Bart.
So in your case, what I would suggest is that you even go down into the zip code level or the city level and you start looking at getting it not in a Birmingham metro, but you start looking at, well, where am I and what is that drive time around? But the second part of that is, since you do have a mobile mechanic, he doesn't have a Napa in the back of his car. If he finds he needs a part, he's also going to need to be able to get the part and get back to the repair. So I think you have two things to keep in mind. You can't be out in the middle of nowhere, but you also need to make sure that you have enough customer base. So I would start to test with an area based upon zip codes, based upon maybe city names like Vestavia, Inverness, those types of things, Mountain Brook, Pelham, Alabaster, etc., Trustful, whatever, and then say, am I getting enough response? And then increasing it if you're not. Rather than going big and coming back in, I'd go medium and then go back out for that. But the second thing I'd have to ask you is, who can afford your service? So if the person is going to save money by driving their car or towing their car in somewhere, or not going to save money by doing that, that's the question. What kind of income, what kind of family situation do these folks need to have that are going to be good customers? Also thinking that maybe somebody who's buying a new car off the lot every 2 years is not going to have your need, right? So, who is that ideal customer for you when it comes to family makeup and income?
Absolutely. All right. So we've identified who my customers are. So now, do you think I have enough information to go to any of the social platforms and be able to market to those particular customers?
I think you're very close. I think you can start. What you need to understand is, what is their motivation? What is their pain point? And who are they getting the service from now? And how do you do that or take away the pain that they're experiencing in getting that service done now?
Absolutely. And I can tell you, once we were able to identify that alone, we were able to increase our residential customer base by 52% within the first 3 months of us starting out. Um, Basically, not starting out, but revamping our marketing strategy. So, making sure that you have a plan and identifying what the plan is and what the strategy is can definitely impact your bottom line revenue if you do it in such a way that you are targeting the right type of customers, and it also creates less headache for you. I can tell you, as a business owner, I don't want every customer. I have people that make you laugh. I have people that call me and ask if they could have a technician come out, get their car worked on, and then pay us when they get paid on Friday, right? And that is one, because they think we're just a shade tree mechanic riding around and fixing cars. That's absolutely not who we have branded ourselves as, and that's just not our customer. And I recognize that. So I employ everybody on this call, before investing marketing dollars, or before advertising, to make sure that you've done this particular exercise. You know exactly where you're trying to target, And if not, if you don't have the answers to that, or if you need help, do not hesitate to reach out to us. The Better Business Bureau is here to help you. Um, Not just with customer complaints. We're not a complaint agency. We want to definitely unbrand ourselves as that. That is part of what we do. Um, the same way is we also educate the consumers on different scams that are out there. However, we are also here to help our businesses be successful, because when you're successful, we're successful as well. All right, so I'm going to open it up for questions and answers. And I am going to give you guys the floor. And as you have a question, you can either just come off of mute and ask your question, or feel free to raise your hand if somebody else is talking. No one? All right. Just so everybody on the call knows, again, most people are not aware that the BBB can help you with these things. We basically revamped how we are helping our small business owners and our business owners in our community about a year and a half ago. And we developed several strategies, co-branded strategies, to try and help you market to those particular your audience if needed. Of course, we have our regular bbb.org that we can assist you with. But we also help with website development if you need it, Google targeted display, YouTube video, Facebook, SEO, and digital billboards. We can help you to get on any of those platforms if you need help with doing that. When we say co-branded, basically we're using the BBB brand to help promote your business as well. So, of course, the logo represents that you're a sign of a better business. And in order for you to participate in any of these programs, you have to be accredited with the BBB for us to co-brand your particular brand, because you're already saying that you're going to do things the right way, ethically, and that you're going to honor your promises to customers, so on and so forth. So we want to assist with co-branding you in the marketplace as that. And if you need help or want more information on getting on those platforms, please feel free to reach out to us. We can definitely help you for sure. Of course, you can reach out to me. My name is Angela Morgan. Robin Wells is our digital marketing specialist. She has tons of information on, again, several of the things that we've talked about, helping you to get on those particular platforms. If you need it, we can help. And we are not a marketing agency. Let me just start there. However, we are here to help our small business owners be successful. So even if you have something that you want us to take a look at, and you have questions, or you just want me to clarify something or whatever, feel free to reach out to me via email. That's probably the best way to get me and to get a response quickly. Or you can, of course, call me at the office. My office number is there as well. Robin is also here to help if you have questions about bbb.org or any of the other platforms that I talked about just a minute ago. We appreciate you joining us today. I hope you were able to get something from this. That is definitely our mission, is to make sure that you're getting at least a nugget that you can take away that can help your business moving forward, where you can be successful and continue to do great things in our state. So we appreciate you joining today, and I thank you. I thank you for joining. And the call was recorded, so a recording will go out. If you want to share it with someone, a coworker, or somebody at your company, you are more than welcome and free to do so as well. So thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great day.